And so Spencer Rattler, of course, is the headliner through the transfer portal, not just for South Carolina, but one of the big names nationally. So people have to be pretty excited about this. He's a guy that got benched at Oklahoma after being a Heisman favorite, but still, if you put it all together, has tremendous talent. And even though he got benched, wasn't playing that poorly. So this upgrades the quarterback position immensely. You might have the best quarterback in the division.
Stetson Bennett's back for his 27th year of college football. I think. We joke on the early game that we think that kids now are just putting out there on Twitter that they're coming back, and the NCAA is just like, sure, yeah, you're back. We don't have time to find out your eligibility, but you're right. I mean, we'll see. Caleb Williams obviously showed that he's a very solid quarterback at Oklahoma, so it's not like Spencer Rattler just got beat out by some random kid. Caleb Williams looks like a special type player and will be special wherever he goes. And Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma struggled to run the football this year. I don't think all the issues were on him. A lot of the question marks have more to do with his personality, with his locker room demeanor, than it does with what he is as a player. But so far, he seems to have answered all those questions. There was an interview that occurred up here with the Oklahoma sideline reporter on our radio station, where the Oklahoma sideline reporter essentially said, "Hey, look, I'm on the sideline. All these people are saying, oh, he's a bad guy in the locker room and a bad guy on the sidelines." He goes, "I never saw that." And, that's a sideline reporter who really has no reason not to be honest about the situation. And so he comes in, he'll be able to go through spring practice, which will start in March. As you said, he adds stability. I guess technically, going back to that eligibility thing, he has 3 years of eligibility left, which is incredible. But the bottom line is, you hope he's a one and done prospect, that he comes in, he's a hired gun, that his season is so good that it propels South Carolina to 9 wins, and he gets back into being in the discussion as a first-round draft pick and maybe even a Heisman candidate.
Will Shane Beamer, now that he's got one full season, including an off season under his belt at South Carolina as a first-time head coach, what are your overall impressions? What really comes to mind when you assess not just the work that he did, but his approach to coaching?
I mean, at South Carolina, they had to really change the culture, the mindset of the program under Will Muschamp. I think it was a very, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but it was a very me first program. You look last year, and Muschamp's fired, and J.C. Horn opts out, and Israel McQuamu opts out, and another starter, R.J. Roderick, opted out. You had a guy transfer that went to Georgia Tech, and it was just kind of a different mindset. Well, this year you've got guys. Zach Pickens is now coming back for his senior year, I reckon. Again, years I don't know are relevant. Brad Johnson's back. R.J. Roderick, who might have been drafted, is back. You've done well. You've created a different culture. And quite honestly, Shane Beamer's positive attitude, all over positive attitude. People were kind of scoffing at that when Shane Beamer was being ultra positive, being beaten by Tennessee 38-7. But I think you saw it pay off in the bowl game. You saw it pay off in the Auburn game when South Carolina got down 14-0 against Auburn late in the season and then go on to win that game, come back and win the game. So I think in 1 year, what he's done is changed the culture of the program. Now, as far as in-game stuff, I think it's still to be determined. You've got a very difficult year coming up ahead of you. You got Arkansas out of the West, who's getting better. Kentucky is being run very well by Mark Stoops right now. You're going to be undermanned still, even despite what we just talked about with Spencer Rattler. You're going to be undermanned against Georgia, against Texas A&M, against Clemson. What does Tennessee look like? Missouri is a team they haven't beaten in 2 seasons. So, there's still some coaching things, but at least in terms of culture, in terms of mindset, in terms of positive reaction, Shane Beamer has been able to change that idea around here in 1 year.